New EPA electric vehicle mandates are not good, and soon they want to make it illegal to drive an internal combustion engine vehicle. And we all love Earth Day, and we want to live on this planet for a long time. But mandating the manufacture of electric vehicles, SUVs, and trucks in an attempt to replace gasoline and diesel-powered vehicle is problematic at best. And in the end, consumers will pay the hefty price. So many issues hinder the adoption of electric vehicle markets, including but not limited to an incomplete charging infrastructure for drivers. But what happens if you run out of a charge on the road? No one can bring you a spare battery pack, but they can bring you a can of gas. And bringing a charging truck will leave you hours on the side of the road while the diesel generator charges your battery or getting your vehicle towed to a charging station. Viable renewable energy options such as sun and wind are 50 years away from matching the cost and efficiency of energy fossil fuels and only can cover 18% of our energy needs. According to Rand Taylor of FuelOx, fire-prone lithium-ion battery packs are an issue as well. And every week there is a car, truck, e-bike, laptop, or phone bursting into flames because lithium-ion batteries. This is dangerous for the environment. We are getting our raw materials from China. The cost, availability, and supply chain risks of raw materials are still an issue. How can we call it investing in America when all the raw materials come from China and are mined by children who die daily in mine pits? This helps China, not the environment. I know I have some of you fired up, but first I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We give you more than car reviews and first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts because knowledge is power. But let me digress. In favor of a more practical issue, if the only car consumers can buy are electric vehicles at a price that is 4 times higher than an internal combustion engine, consumers and truckers will simply avoid buying new. The average price of an electric vehicle is $66,000, and the EV incentives are constantly changing, and we'll be covering that in a future segment. But what will happen is owners will keep their cars and trucks they have and drive them until they finally break down for the last time. Unless, as was announced this past weekend, the EPA is said to propose rules meant to drive up electric car sales tenfold. These mandates are a precursor to making it illegal to drive an internal combustion engine vehicle at all. Finally, what will happen to mandates when better, cleaner energy sources like hydrogen or synthetic gas force their way onto the market in 7 to 10 years, further muddying the EV marketing efforts from both the government and private enterprise, while Hyundai, Toyota, BMW, and others are working on hydrogen as an alternative. And what comes out the tailpipe? Water. Very clean for the environment. Now let's take a closer look at what the EPA stated in what would be the nation's most ambitious climate regulation. The proposal is designed to ensure that electric cars make up the majority of new U.S. auto sales by 2032. That would represent a quantum leap for the United States, as there are just 5.8% of vehicles sold last year were all electric. At the same time, the proposed regulation would pose a significant challenge for automakers. Nearly every major car company has already invested heavily in electric vehicles, but few have committed to the levels that are envisioned by the Biden administration. Even manufacturers who are enthusiastic about electric models are unsure whether consumers will buy enough to put them into a profit position, and a majority of new car sales within the next decade. Remember the Biden administration's recent decision to approve an enormous oil drilling project on federal land in Alaska? This is against that narrative. Sounds like the climate activists are pushing in the other direction. The new requirements would attempt to ensure that electric cars represent between 54 and 60% of all new cars sold in the United States by 2030, with that figure rising from 64 to 67% of new car sales by 2032. Let's please just end the mandate madness and let the market guide the progress before the government makes it illegal to drive your internal combustion vehicle. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, because you always do, and I expect some good ones on this one, I'll be happy to answer. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.